Hi everyone! Today it's time to wrap up the League series as I am near the end of my progression, and then my next video will be a full montage video of killing a bunch of bosses with the power of ranged combined with bombardment and specialist relic. Let's begin. First, I unlocked Double Surge and then gathered more time runes using those catalytic anima stones that I obtained from Hardwood Forecamp so that I can keep using Time Skip to make more vulnerability bombs because I needed more. After the shenanigans with Hardwood Forecamp last time, I decided to go for Darkness, which meant I needed to kill Hermod in story mode, which was a circus show. I came totally unprepared with an empty inventory and horrible gear, and I also don't know how to use necromancy. Eventually, after collecting souls and talent points, the fool finally obtained 99 necromancy, along with greater bone shield and darkness. Now it's time to go for Eldritch Crossbow by doing some Elite Dungeon 3. I could have also have done Telos instead, but I chose to do 83 because I am more familiar with it and I needed dungeoneering levels. And it's also because Elite Dungeons is one of my favorite contents in this game. Plus, there's a 20% chance I will get a double ECB drop, which I can transmute if necessary. But first, I decided to do a trilogy just for fun, but also to complete the Curse of the Blackstone quest for that 10% damage reduction. At Elite Dungeon 1, I was getting surprisingly fast times at Sanctum Guardian, and at Masuda, it's already faster than my main. Then at Seiryu, I was able to heal skip no problem despite not having Dominion Mines or ACB. Elite Dungeon 2, those slimes are nothing. At Starland, the kill speed was about the same due to how the boss works. At Verect Leaf, I didn't notice much of a difference in kill speed, but at Blackstone Dragon, I was able to obtain a flight skip without an Eldritch Crossbow. Apparently, I got 2 graded codexes in one run. For Elite Dungeon 3, SGB isn't as useful, so I swapped out SGB for ECB. Leviathan was a breeze. Terragate because I don't have scare tactics. I just walked under him to force a corpse carrier to spawn first. I can also AoE down the bladed monstrosity thanks to bombardment. And Ambassador, it was very easy. Before I continued, I did some very annoying quests in order to go for the Mighty Slayer Helm, got myself the Hex Crest, Focus Sight, and Black Mask, even got Scare Tactics now so I can use Rout and Demoralize specifically for Terragate, upgraded the helmet, placed it on the stand, now I get bonus damage if I'm on a specific Slayer task, completed Curse of the Blackstone quest, and now I have 10% damage reduction in Elite Dungeons, plus 99 agility. Started making Quam instant sticks for 10% poison damage. I also wouldn't mind constantly farming Elite Dungeon 3 for 100 Blackstone Hearts, but Eldritch Crossbow is the main prize. I get my first drop at 6 KC. Second Eldritch piece at 12 KC. I signed there because my prayer points ran out, and I get my third piece at 13 KC before I even had 100 Blackstone hearts. I still needed Reaper points to get my next EOF, so I kept doing more Ambassador until I get 100 Blackstone hearts and enough Reaper points. The universe decided I deserved 2 Eldritch crossbows by the time I got 100 Blackstone hearts. I was able to get myself the Undead Slayer ability, followed by a brand new EOF to put my Eldritch crossbow in. I don't know what to do with the second Eldritch crossbow, so I'll just make some Hydra's Bacrumia bolts if I decide to use it for whatever purpose. For those of you that noticed, some random bug changed my hairstyle and hair color. It's time I do something about it. I built a dresser in my home and finally was able to change it back to what it was. Decided to do some Dominion towers specifically to unlock Dread Nips. I also used the combat experience I gained from it as an excuse. And I also decided to do some Master Clue Scrolls because I wanted to attach Essence of Finality ornament kits to my EOFs so that they look better in my inventory and also slightly more damage. It's time for the final upgrade to my range journey in leagues, the Shard of Genesis from Nakatra, which is a 1 in 13 drop with boosted rates. The biggest obstacle for me is that Nakatra is one of those bosses I really struggle with, because one mistake could mean sudden death. There's a reason why she is one of my least favorite bosses in this game. Still, if I want the Shard of Genesis, I'm going to have to suck it up and attend the circus show. Vermix wasn't too bad, although the speed of the kill was fast enough for me to skip the first Moonstone Shard mechanic. Kesalam, I obtained a master timer without much trouble, while in the main game, I can barely do it. My first hard mode Nakatra kill in leagues was as slow as it was in the main game. I still rely on my own guide and the glyphs in the air to do this boss. Without them, I'm screwed. Now, how about I show you a full Nakatra kill powered by my relics.
I am afraid this is where your story ends. The soul fire erases all. Prepare for death. Be obliterated. The Sanctum is mine. Face judgment, foul wretch. soul fire erases all. The soul fire erases all. Suffer the full power of the Sanctum. The power will consume. Your death is inevitable. Ah! You cannot stop me. Prepare for death. Be obliterated. Face judgment. Foul flesh.
And of course, I get the Shard of Genesis at 3kc. Well, we're done here. And with the Shard of Genesis being the final upgrade to the range progression, this is where I would consider the end of my ranged leagues journey. There are still some upgrades I could go for like Pernix Quiver, Binding Contracts, or Limitless, but a lot of these are locked behind very tedious quests or content I just don't want to do. The burnout in leagues has been creeping up, but I did promise in the last video that I would be doing a full montage of range against many different types of bosses in the game. Stay tuned for that. Until then, I want to thank everyone that followed me on this journey in leagues. Initially, I didn't really have a clear goal in mind since I didn't know what I was getting into. What surprised me the most was the range progression path. Despite what everyone says about how horrible the progression for range was going to be in leagues, I still managed to pull through and endured. That progression path was actually what kept me going despite all the frustration with drop rates. Reflecting back on the decisions I made during my progression, I feel like picking Divine Woodcutter as my first relic was the best decision I ever made. It allowed me to go straight for internal magic bow and foe arrows. The bow was sufficient enough for a really long time. Having access to best in slot arrows right away was definitely the right call. It allowed me to skip bosses that would have been annoying like Queen Black Dragon or the Spider Boss. Even if the tier 90 bow cannot be augmented, my journey just proved to me that I can do content without it. I think what I would have done differently is how much time I spent getting a WEN book and maintaining it. While Archglaker helped with supplies, I think I should have went for Jazz books sooner. It might have been weaker early on, but it's actually much easier to maintain since Carapac actually drops manuscripts more frequently than Archglaker. Book maintaining was one of the most annoying things throughout my league's progression. Another thing I probably should have done is to be more diligent about is obtaining my onyx. I was very slow in farming my onyx, which made obtaining my Essence of Finality a lot slower. It wasn't the Hydrix holding me back, but the onyx. What I should have done is I should have been doing more elite dungeons for onyx dust instead of Vorkath. I also felt I was a bit too greedy with my Dracolich progression, considering how much easier it is to obtain spikes from hard mode, despite the bad luck I went through. It's hard to say, but again, it's all thanks to the base for offering me to take me to hard mode forecast early and unlocking my elite Dracolich early. Learning about the range progression in 2025 has been a wonderful experience, even if it took place in leagues. If you ask me if I'd like to go through it again in leagues, yes, I would. And yes, I would go through it again with ranged again. Thank you to everyone for watching. Stay tuned for the montage video, and bye bye.